faith-based. I've heard people starting to go on and on about that. You got private citizens that are getting together in a group and say we're gonna put together a private insurance situation and healthcare that is our own. It's very similar to what Ben Carson was trying to get us to implement, and it's actually showing signs of being much more efficient, much more affordable. I'm telling you.
Does it just handle more of catastrophic? Is that the way it's designed?
And
in a nutshell, anything that's over $300, you submit to them, right. You're reimbursed, and anything under that, you just cash.
Right.
And here's the thing: you go into a doctor's office, and people don't like this. They feel like Amanda was this way at first. She didn't like to go in the doctor's office and say, I don't have insurance. We're on Samaritan Ministries. Mm-hmm. Well, the doctor and the folks there actually light up because guess what they're getting? Paid. Cash money.
They're going to get paid.
They don't have to go through the insurance system.
They're going to get paid.
And so we get a break. There's a cash rate. You just say, I get the cash rate. And usually it's a lot cheaper than what you would normally
there's a lot of manipulating of numbers.
Insurance has become kind of what the income tax has become because you don't see it. You think it's just you don't realize how much money you're losing.
And I got to tell you, writing that $400 or $500 check every month as my deductible, it goes to a family that believes in the exact same things I believe in.
Right.
And that's a lot different writing that check than it is to a big insurance company.
Absolutely. The American people should be able to maximize their liberty, and that includes their health care.
Yeah.
And the way they want to do it. And I ought to be able to set up across the street from you, and anybody wants me here, say, hey, I'm doing term health insurance. I pay for catastrophic things. You pay for everything else, but my monthly rate's $100.
Right.
And you go, I think I'd rather pay for my doctor visits and pay for my own stuff, and then you be there for me if I have to have a major operation.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. If I have an emergency or I have to have an organ transplant or cancer or something.
Yeah. I know. What
runny noses I should pay for.
I know what I pay a month.
It'd be better if we did that.
What I pay a month, and I don't win.
No.
I do not go to the doctor every month, hardly ever.
No, I don't either.
I'd much rather have something that was like term oriented. You take care of the biggies, I'll take care of the medium and small, and I'll come out ahead every time. All right, if you leave us, have a big day. Thanks for being with us.
Rick and Bubba.
The ceremony, the kiss, the moment, the guests, the music, the decorations, the day. If you have a special event coming up, let Joe Swing Recreational Facility host your big day. Joe Swing has a fully equipped kitchen, as well as exceptional cuisine provided by Cole Park Commons Eagle Catering. Seating and tables are available for up to 200 people. Plenty of comfortable space for all your decorations and guests. With a state-of-the-art lighting and audio system, your event or party can get started right away with ease. Enjoy your picture-perfect moment set outdoors with a beautiful scenic view of the quarry as a backdrop. Joe's Swing Recreational Facility is located just inside Gate 1 behind Dolan Pool. For more information, please contact Eagle Catering at 270-798-4610. Joe's Swing Recreational Facility, the hidden treasure that caters to soldiers and families.
Since 1941, serving the public interest. WJZM Radio, Clarksville, Tennessee.
They said it wasn't a gateway drug. My homie was taking subs and he ain't wake up the whole while. These billionaires stay caked up, paying out Congress so we take their drugs. Murderers who will never face the judge. And we dancing to a song about a face gone numb. But I seen homies turn gray, noses draining blood. I could have been gone, our 30s faded in that tub. That's Prince, Michael and Whitney, that's Amy Ledger and Pimp C, that's Yams, that's DJ A.M. I'm making the killing. Now it's getting attention cause Sarah, Katie, and Billy. But this been going on from Seattle out to South Philly. It just moved about the city and it spread out to the burbs. Now it's everybody's problem, got a nation on the verge. Take activists off the market, jack the price up on the syrup. But Purdue Farmers about to move that work.
The drug dealer was a doctor, had the plug from Big Pharma. He said that he would heal me, but he only gave me problems. My drug dealer was a doctor, had the plug from Big Pharma. Tried to kill me for $1.
And these devils, they keep on talking to me. They screaming, open the bottle. I wanna be at peace. My hand is gripping that throttle. I'm running out of speed. Try to close my eyes, but I just keep on sweating through these sheets. For a horseman, they won't let me forget. I wanna forge a prescription. Cause doctor, I need some more of it. When morphine and heroin is more of your budget. I said I never use a needle, but short. I'm caught up, I'm on one, I'm nauseous. No options, exhausted. This is not what I started. Walking carcass, I lost everything I wanted. My blinds drawn, too gone to leave this apart.
My drug dealer was a doctor. Had the plug from Big Pharma. He said that he would heal me, but he only gave me problems. My drug dealer was a doctor. Had the plug from Big Pharma. I think he trying to kill me. Tried to kill me for $1.
Re-up, that certificate signed the prenup. Ain't no coming back from this Percocet activist, Ambien, Adderall, Xanax binge. Best friends with the thing that's killing me. Enemies with my best friend, there's no healing me. Refilling these. They say it's debt, institutions and DOC. So God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Courage to change the things I can. And the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know the difference.
Good Saturday morning, everyone. It is time for True Health Talk with the Wild Doc and Dr. Dale Brown. Good morning, sir.
Morning, John.
Morning. I noticed you had some different music this morning to come in with.
I do.
That song seems to have struck a nerve with you. Or is that to put it?
Chiropractor, right?
Yeah.
It does. I have mad respect for that man right there. Macklemore's new song, Drug Dealer. You know what? I'm the doctor your drug dealer doesn't want you to see, folks. That's the truth. I'm the doctor your dealer doesn't want you to see, hear, or know. You know what? I've got medical physicians in this community, and it's a little shout out here because I know you're probably listening, who have told my patients, thank God my patients are well educated. Thank God my patients know me and know my heart. Thank God my patients know more than their medical physicians. Because medical physicians have told my patients that they should take injections, that they should take pain meds for the rest of their life. Because of spinal conditions for which we can correct and we can get them well in my office. Had a patient, wanted their medical physician to write him a script to go to my office so her insurance would pay for the care for which she was having difficulty right now because she's literally disabled because of a spinal issue. She goes to the medical physician. She asks for that. She says, I've been doing well when I'm under care. I've literally been donating the care to her to keep her well enough to stay on her feet and go day to day. She goes to the medical physician here in town. I'd love for this medical physician to sit down with me on this radio show and tell me why he feels it's better to give somebody a narcotic medication for which millions of Americans are becoming addicted, dying. We got movie stars. We got singers. We got entertainers dying because of these drugs. We get doctors handing out like candy right now, folks. He didn't want to write a script. Not that he wouldn't write it for chiropractic. No, he didn't want to write it once she told him she was going to see Dr. Dale. She was going to see Dr. Brown. He didn't like the truth that I share. Folks, we have an epidemic of meth, heroin, and opiate use in this country. We have thousands of people dying. You want gun control? Let's get doctor control. Because the drugs are killing more than guns. They're ruining lives. They're ruining relationships. I'm sick of it. You got to get a singer like Macklemore to put out a song to educate the community because doctors won't talk about it. We got doctors who won't get up, call their representatives, call their congressmen, and say enough's enough, get the FDA and the CDC to do what's right for the American people, for the children. Let's shut down Purdue Pharma. Let's take the 17th, it's like the 15th or 17th richest family in the world, or in the United States at least. The family who owns Purdue Pharma, who, get this folks, they lied about the safety of their drugs. That's how they got it approved by the FDA. The FDA gave them a second chance, because they paid a bunch of money to our congressmen, our congresswomen, lobby to our government, lobby and pay off our FDA and our CDC. That's what's happening. Money is dictating the treatments people are receiving in this country right now. They pay them off. They lie about the next drug, the next opiate that's supposed to be time release. No, you dissolve the outside of it in a bottle of water and then take it, snort it, do whatever, and that's the way people got high. They continue to get, and it's not the abuse. You can be addicted by taking one round of this, 2 pills, 1 pill, and people are immediately addicted to it. Can't get off of it. Children were given this medication because Purdue Pharma's sales reps went out to the American physicians and then wined and dined them. Told them it was safe. Told them it was effective. Told them it wasn't addictive. Got them to give it to little kids after a soccer injury, twisting their knee, twisting their ankle, and they gave it to little kids, and now little kids are addicted to it. People are dying, folks. It's time for doctors, society, this culture to completely change rather than turning our backs on wrongdoing. I hate to even admit this, but I was watching The Walking Dead. You seen that? The latest episode? Oh yeah. My gosh, broke my heart. I wanted to cry. I'm like, not Glenn.
I did see it Sunday.
I sat there and I watched it and I looked at my wife and I said, this is exactly a representation of what's going on in this country right now. We have evildoers.
Yeah.
We have big pharma. We have doctors who are doing evil and we have doctors who want to do good. But sadly, so many doctors feel they're powerless. Feel like if they speak up, then they're going to get the bat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they will.
And that's what's so darn... We can speak up, folks. You know what? One bee might sting you, but an entire hive comes after you. If we get our entire communities, our culture, our country, we get our ground forces. That's you, me, anybody listening right now. You just start demanding your doctors speak up and call their representatives. Tell them they want the truth, that they're sick of it. No more lobbying. Drug companies should be completely eliminated from being able to lobby the government right now. Because that is what is destroying this nation. Especially in terms of health.
Yes.
Especially in terms of the well-being of our children. You know, that song just breaks my heart, gets me fired up. But that's the truth, folks. You know, I've seen in my time here in Clarksville, I've seen pain clinics shut down, and I thank God for that, because they're overprescribing narcotics. But I've also seen good physicians fired from their job because they won't overprescribe narcotics, because their higher-up doctor overseeing that clinic wanted to make money. Love money for more than the lives of people. This is the stuff I've seen in my community. You know, I know I was supposed to be talking about cancer, and I will talk about that subject today, but I'm going to hit... You know, I know there's Clarksville listeners out there. I know that people think I'm a little off the edge. I'm a little crazy. I'm a little wild.
No.
I'm the wild doc, folks. What can I say?
Somebody's got to speak the truth.
I was thinking about it. I was like, you know, why am I on the radio? Why am I on the air? I'm not getting patients from this. I've had one lady, bless her heart, come in. She's no longer dealing with knee and back pain. She's doing so much better.
Really? That's
so
good.
much better. You know her. And, that one life, to be able to touch that one life and see her a smile on her face rather than a cringe in pain, keep her off drugs, that's what I want to do. But my purpose here is not to sit on this radio and rant and rave to get patients. And I know that's mostly what a lot of doctors do. A lot of people do. It's all about how can we make that next buck.
Yep.
We don't have enough people saying, the buck don't matter. The buck stops here. It's time to speak truth. Say it no matter what. I was just sitting back one day. I forget what I was doing. I think I was walking around the woods or something. That's a lot of times when I feel like I spend the most time with the good Lord. And I was just talking to him, and I'm like, God, should I just quit the radio? I'm not making money. I'm spending money. And that's just where I'm at, I'm like, you know what? I just fell in my spirit saying, you know what? You're a good warrior. You're avenging the lives of people who have been lost, and you're saving the future lives of people that will listen. All I care about with speaking the truth is that when I die, I'll go before the Lord, and he'll thank me for being a warrior for the people, his children here on earth. That's all I care about. I've had people in my family, in my life, tell me not to speak against vaccines, not to speak out against this stuff, even though they know it's the truth. Because they say people who speak the truth, you can't make money. I've lost tens of thousands of dollars for speaking truth. I know it. But that doesn't matter.
So you could take the easy way out.
I could. I could just sit here. Hey, if you got back pain, come see me. I'll give you a $20 discount. Let's go. Come on. Come to my office. You know what, folks? If you want somebody who's going to give you 100% the truth, going to show you the evidence, who's going to bring you into a well-being, a knowledgeable understanding of the condition you're dealing with. Because I was sitting down with a patient last week, talking to him, and I just asked him. I said, so you've been through cancer. Did your doctor explain to you what causes cancer? He said, no. Did your doctor explain to you what you could do to prevent the cancer from ever coming back? He says, no. He didn't know anything about his cancer.
Except that he had it.
Except that he had it. He was given rounds of chemotherapy drugs, told he was cancer-free, and now, within months, less than 5 months later, he starts having the same symptoms that brought him into the doctors and diagnosed him with cancer. But I'll tell you, before he walked out of my office after one single adjustment, he told me he no longer had the abdominal pain. Thank the Lord his body began to heal.
That's right.
Your body has a power greater than any drug, pill, potion, or lotion, folks. Never deny that. Sometimes I believe the reason people get such great results in my office, on my table, under my care, by my hands, is because I let them know they have the power to heal. Yeah. They have that ability. Many doctors will say you don't have that ability. You've got to have my drugs. Doctors say they'll heal you. Doctors say they heal me, but they only gave me problems.
Most of them do.
So, all right, folks, we're live on Facebook. I'm the Wild Doc. You can tune in Facebook. You can tune in YouTube later dates. YouTube on WJZM. You can right here 1400 AM local Clarksville radio. You can call in. John, what's that number?
931-645-6414. Operators are standing by.
Yes, sir.
Which would be me.
You know,
I'll answer the call.
I just wonder what people were thinking last week because I just hammered the research about mammography. Folks, it's another lie. If you guys don't see this stuff, it's just lie after lie after lie by the medical community. And as doctors, you know, I was talking to a patient here yesterday, giving him information, and this is a very amazing patient. She actually came in, she had severe anxiety, 2 adjustments, no more anxiety, no more chronic pain throughout her thoracic spine. She's less stressed, she is feeling good, she's praising me on Facebook, and I love seeing that stuff. But she comes into me and she talks about a patient or a friend of hers that she told about like mammography stuff, and she told about like mushrooms and how they can help boost the immune system against cancer. And she told this friend of theirs. Well, the friend says That's interesting. I'll go talk to my doctor about that. You know what the question should be, or the statement of that patient should be, or that individual out there in the community shouldn't be, I'm going to go talk to my doctor about that. It should be, why hasn't my doctor talked to me about that? This is what's so darn frustrating to me, is people will sit there. I can have the research study in my hand from the New England Journal of Medicine, others. Look at this, British Medical Journal. You know, I made the statement last week that mammographies are costing more lives through the death of breast cancer than they're saving. Here we go. Breast cancer mortality in organized mammography screening in Denmark. Comparative study of two different regions. Different regions of Denmark doing breast screening in one area, no breast screening in the other area or less. British Medical Journal, right here. What year is it? Let's look it up real quick. 2010, British Medical Journal. Nordic Cochrane database. We found mortality decline of 1% per year in the screening areas. Oh, it went down. That's not overall mortality, folks. That's a 1% decline of mortality per year in the screening areas. So 1% decline 1%. In the screening areas from a specific diagnosis of breast cancer. 1% decline. Well, it's good, right? Yeah, I'm glad to hear a decline, but does that really mean people are living longer?
Yeah, here comes the catch.
In women of the same age in the non-screening areas where you don't get screened for breast cancer, you don't get mammography, there was a decline of 2% in mortality from breast cancer. 2% mortality decline in non-screening areas. That equates to thousands of lives saved because they didn't screen, folks.
Okay. Hold on just a minute, okay?
British Medical Journal.
Yes, sir.
We got a caller, possibly.
Yeah.
What we got?
Grab some headphones.
All right. Thank you for calling in. Let me get my headphones on here, and I'll be able to listen in.
Can you hear?
Hello, I'm Dr. Dale. Who we got on the line?
Dale today.
Who's that? Say it again.
I said, how is Dale today?
I'm doing great, a little fired up, as you can probably tell.
Yes, sir, and you have my burn permits as we speak. I'd like to know, when you're doing a stress volume test, does it affect the heart in a bad way?
When you're doing a stress, so like a stress test for cardiovascular rate and disease risk?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it does. So the chemicals, if you get that chemical injected, it actually, basically, you're going to flip the odds of any benefit. What they've shown is that chemical can stress the heart out enough to induce heart attacks. So more heart attacks are caused or the same rate. I've seen studies that say it's basically across the board there's no benefit in the cardiovascular stress tests because they stress the person out, whether working them out, their body can't tolerate that amount of stress, and especially when they use the chemicals, when you can't walk hard enough or run or jog, those types of things on the treadmill to do this stress test, to see your heart rate go up, your blood pressure, they can't, okay, well, you're not working hard enough, or you can't work hard enough because your lungs won't let you, or your body won't let you, so let's inject you with a chemical. When they do that, they cause a lot of heart attacks through that manner. Also, give you an example, me personally, my father, 2 weeks after his cardiologist did a stress test and told him he was healthy, he had a heart attack. He had his first heart attack 2 weeks later. The Cleveland Clinic, which is one of the top cardiology clinics in the United States, it's so funny to me that Obama actually said we need more clinics and hospitals to be like Cleveland Clinic, because they really do. They've done studies on nutrition prevention as well as treatment of cancer. They do a whole food plant-based diet to reversal of cancer. Has far better benefits than anything else out there. They do a 5-hour class there, which I can, if you want help with that kind of stuff, you want to look at the research, look at the dietary plan. I have all that on my computer and in my office that I could print out for you, hand it to you, sir. You say your name was Dave? Is that right?
No.
Oh, you don't have to share your name if you don't.
My name Dale. I said, how is Dale today?
Got you, Dale today. So
I did have a friend come to see you, and I do hope she's doing well. Told her husband he knows how much money I don't have, but I'll put my money on it that she'll be better when she leaves your office. And I do appreciate your show. John,
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm here.
thank you. Can you hear me say thank you?
Yes, sir. I sure can.
There we are. Y'all keep that up and more power to your show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That warms my heart, sir. Thank you for your call. All right. People are listening.
That's it. Yep. See, they're out
Love
there.
it. I'm going to
They're
take
out
care
there.
of your friend, sir. I mean, that's a great question because those stress tests, what they're doing is they're taking, in my office, what I can do is a very simple heart rate variability. It tells you how much stress your body has.
Yeah.
Also, I just invested in an additional one, spent several $1,000s on it. What it is a heart rate variability monitor, goes right over the chest so it gets closer to the heart rather than the fingertip heart rate variability monitor that I've been using. But they can show risk of cardiovascular, metabolic disorders, risk of sudden cardiac failure and death. They can tell in nursing homes within a significant amount of certainty whether somebody's going to die in the next 30 days or not because they can see that their heart rate variability is so weak and their nervous system is going into failure and they're more likely to die. So I believe what they should be doing, especially before they do a heart rate or a stress test for cardiovascular risk, they should be doing a heart rate variability test, seeing if the person can even tolerate stress. Because of their physical fitness and their ability to tolerate and adapt to stressors, whether it be exercising or whether it be that chemical, before you do that and you stress their body out, if they can't tolerate, bam, they get hit and you just were the straw that broke their camel's, not to call them people camels, but that's the straw that broke the camel's back because of the testing and the improper evaluation first to see if the person could tolerate.
Because the test really did cause stress.
Exactly. If they can't tolerate it, that's all they need to shove them over the edge.
Yeah.
You just pushed them off the cliff.
Just kicked them right over.
The Cleveland Clinic showed that the type of heart attack that can be tested for on that type of test, on the stress test that we do in clinics, is 13% of heart attacks occur because of the ones you can tell there. 13.
Interesting.
What?
13%.
So, then that's what's sad is so now you have like close to 90% of people walking out of their doctor's offices like my father,
thinking they're
given, hey, I'm good to go.
I'm great.
They don't change anything. They go back to the same lifestyle. They're like, well, my bacon and eggs and chicken, my bacon sandwiches and my fifth of whiskey every night and my cigarettes must not be hurting me too bad.
No,
I'm good to go. And they go back to that lifestyle, and 2 weeks later, my dad has a heart attack. Just look at it. So what the Cleveland Clinic's been doing in several major medical physicians out there, I wish I knew the name because I gave him a shout out. I love this medical physician, but he uses a plant-based, nutritious diet in the Cleveland Clinic. Mind you, for years after his research in the 80s, he was barred. His mouth was duct tape, basically. He could not treat younger physicians. He could only treat senior executive physicians and senior executive board members at the Cleveland Clinic. After his research, they barred him from treating patients and treating younger physicians. Why would they bar him from treating younger patients?
Well, he was costing them money, I would think.
It would, because if you treat younger patients who are gung-ho about wanting to help their patients, guess what? Younger physicians are going to be like, this is great. It's better than drugs. Let's get this to the people.
Let's do this.
But no.
Oh, no.
We've got to stay open. We got to make profits. We need those $50,000 heart surgeries.
Yeah. Oh. Make millions of
We
dollars.
need to be able to put them on a drug, give them a false sense of security so that they continue down the path of poor health and disease and more heart attack, more stroke. That's the type of stuff that I get fired up about, is the fact that people are not given the greatest thing that they can do for themselves, because that's what healthcare should be about.
Instead, all they do is give drugs to mask whatever problem they have.
Exactly. Pill, potions, and lotions, folks. It's nothing but a piece of duct tape. If you want that for your health, continue going to MDs who are going to hand out the drugs. There are great MDs out there that can coach you on nutrition, that can help you with alternative. Seek those out. Start changing what our insurance is paid for, and that's what I was going with. The Cleveland Clinic has been pushing for Medicare and other insurance companies to pay for this 5-hour class and then coaching then after.
Right now, the GOV probably won't let them run.
And it costs I think it was $6,000.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
No.
$6,000 for a treatment that is superior to a drug regimen that's going to allow you to lead to another heart attack, another stroke, heart failure, cancer, immune
it's
system
9:30.
issues.
I have to take my pill.
Yep. Oh, gosh. I hate those little pill things.
Oh, I know. I know a guy, when it gets 5 o'clock, he gets one out, and he's got like 5 in there, and 5 o'clock, he takes all of them. He'll go.
Give me your entire bottle of medications, folks, and I'm going to prove to you, to save your life, save you from dying in the near future, I'm going to prove to you that it's deadly, that it's not health. I'm going to take every pill in that bottle you get straight from the pharmacy. I'm going to swallow every single pill in it. What's going to happen to me right now? I'm going to die. I'm going to die.
And you know what? When you die...
So if an entire bottle of medication kills me quickly, what does one pill a day do, folks? Come on now.
Just does it slowly.
It does it slowly. Health doesn't come from a bottle, folks. Unless maybe you made a tincture of turkey tail mushroom and reishi mushroom. But that's whole food. That's just how you consume it, folks. That's like saying health doesn't come from a bottle, but I got a bottle of water. Now, as long as it doesn't have chlorine and fluoride in it, I'm okay to drink it. But if it's got those two, do you know that fluoride is one of the most cancer-causing chemicals known to man? And there are cities around the United States banning that from their water system. There is no proof that ingestion of fluoride, also the FDA says that it's a drug, and it's an illegal drug to take. It's not approved for ingestion, but what do we do when we drink the water here in Clarksville? We ingest fluoride.
Oh, yeah.
So we're ingesting a drug by FDA definition.
Yep. Right in the water.
Go to your local pharmacy, ask them if they're selling illegal drugs, if they have any fluoride tablets to swallow. They're selling illegal drugs, and let them know you're going to call the FDA and have them investigating. So, something else I should talk about really quickly. We got 9:30 already. We've got Facebook Live listeners there. I've got subjects I want to talk about. But what's so darn frustrating is Macklemore's talking about the drug addiction, opiate addiction here in the United States. He's talking about that. Well, I go online. Well, guess what? The wild remedies for drug addiction, I went online, read about kratom. Kratom is a tropical plant. You take it, the leaves, the stems, the bark, everything.
Yeah.
They make teas out of this stuff, and it hits the same opiate receptors in the brain and acts on them similar. So it can lower pain, and it can help you wean off of your addiction better. So it has less addictive properties, less aversion after you quit it than drugs do.
Yeah,
than
they're going
the prescription
cold turkey.
alternatives to opiates. So they'll put you on like 5 drugs after you get off of opiates. Like that's if you look at WebMD's like solution, like what do you do for opiate addictions? You take 5 other drugs for the rest of your life? What? I'm addicted to the drug. I don't want to be addicted and be dependent on my drugs anymore.
I'm addicted
and I'm not
to one,
laughing,
and I
but
have to
I'm
take 5.
I'm not laughing at the people who are suffering with this because I've known people. I've had employees, not the employees being addicted to these, but I've seen employees whose friends and family members have been addicted to these drugs, and it is devastating. I'm not laughing at them, but I'm laughing at the stupidity and the idiocracy of the darn FDA and the medical community who says we're going to send the DEA in to go ahead and confiscate kratom, tea, a plant.
Well,
kind of like medical marijuana that's patented by the United States government, that's not allowed to be grown by you in your farms and around your areas, or, you got to get a license to be able to grow hemp and all this stuff. And it's like, we're regulating people from being able to help themselves. We're determining that this, and because why? It's 40 million Americans, according to research, use kratom as an alternative to opiate addiction.
Really? 40 million.
They couldn't find risks in the research. No risks were found in the research except for maybe some abdominal pain, nausea, and throwing up. Okay? Yeah. Well, what do you do when you come off of opiates, folks? Worse than that.
Yeah. Much worse.
But they confiscate that. Because according to the research, the truth is kratom can affect the opioid receptors in the brain and help you do away with opiate addiction
help you
or
wean off of it.
Be an alternative to it. So instead of saying to the people out there, hey, this is an alternative, it seems to be safer. No, the FDA confiscated it on the grounds that it was being marketed as an illegal drug, as a drug, an unapproved drug. Because you can't get a whole food, plant-based anything to be approved by the FDA for the treatment of any condition, because you got to isolate one single molecule within that plant or within that drug and say this is the one molecule that affects and is beneficial, and that's the criteria for which the FDA uses. That's why this big old turkey tail mushroom that I'm donating to anyone, I'm actually donating it to a patient that's in my office right now, but giving it to them, so I can't say. But I've got a whole, like, my entire, like, dashboard of my truck right now is full of red reishi mushrooms right now. This is the biggest one I've ever. That's a big honking mushroom right there. If you're watching Facebook, you can see it right there. Look at that. I feel like I'm going to wear turkey. There you go. It's like a turkey. It's red reishi, though. It's not turkey.
No.
Anyways, but it looks like a turkey.
Yeah, it does.
Anyways, it's called the mushroom of immortality, folks. Pretty cool stuff, yeah. Anyways, I'm just, you can see I got ADD, don't you? Maybe I should take a drug. No.
Yeah, they make something for that. That's even worse than having ADD.
ADD can help you because you're all over the place. Look at this one. Look at this. Look at this research. Oh, I got this. Put this together. Put that together. Look at it. I can see the truth, folks. I can see that the FDA is trying to withstand, because 40 million Americans are using kratom instead of opiate narcotics, instead of the other 5 medications to come off of opiate narcotics. Well, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
A lot of money.
We need.
They are protecting the profits of Big Pharma.
That's what.
They are not protecting the people. Simple as that.
They are for Big Pharma.
I have still not got called back by my Congress members who I've called, and if you're listening or anybody is, call them and say, hey, I'm not going to say names, but basically call them. Okay? Call your congressman, congresswoman in Tennessee, and ask them, why haven't you called Dr. Dale Brown yet back? Because he has something serious he needs to speak with you about. All right, so what should we go to first?
Don't you hate it when they say they're for you to help the people, and then when you call them, they never call back?
Never call back. Haven't called back. I got a call, and I'll shout out his name, okay? Joe Pitts.
Joe Pitts.
I called him. He called me back, but then he said he would investigate, and I haven't heard back from him, so I know it may take some time, because this stuff takes time. That's the truth, is what I tell people.
But he at least called back.
Yes, he called back, spoke to me, really wanted to know what I was concerned about. He said he would be looking into it. I greatly appreciated that, but I have called him back again and asked him when I can talk to him again, and I'd like another call back, and I'd like to sit down and meet with him. And I know pastors in the community that really respect that man, that respect Joe. So, I have nothing negative to say. I'm just like, can we please subpoena the CDC whistleblower? Can we please stop the corruption in this country? And I know that Pitts is local. He's not Washington yet. Maybe he'll get there. Maybe speaking in the future. But I mean, and just hopefully that we all put people before profits. I mean, it's simple as that. So I told people last week I'd be talking a little bit more about the cancer testing, proper testing. I already talked. If you want the last show, go to thewilddoc.com, subscribe there to the email campaign. We're revamping the website a little bit, building it. It's a building phase. On thewilddoc.com, you will see that we'll have all my episodes through the past history on there. We'll have all the research that which I spoke from, and that's the other thing. It's even crazy to me because I'm still got new patients. They're coming in, and I've got my videos and talks playing on the TV. I'm always educating people, and I'll still have patients be like, it's really interesting what you're saying on there. And I'll be like, yeah. Did your doctor talk to you about the fact that mammography is being abolished in other countries because it's found to not save lives, but actually cost lives? They're like, I kind of disagree with that. And I go, oh, you disagree with the New England Journal of Medicine. You disagree with the British Medical Journal. You disagree with the Cochrane Database of Systematic Reviews. I mean, you disagree with major medical institutions in entire countries?
Not good for you.
Yeah, I'm like, that's the thing, folks. Why can I get on here and rant and rave about subjects that most people would say that I need to keep my mouth shut about? Well, number one, we have the freedom of speech in this country, and if I'm reading from documents, I'm taking it from that, and I can prove to you what I'm saying, well then, it's not me. I'm the mailman, just bringing you the evidence and truth.
You're delivering the mail.
The mailman of truth right here, folks. The doctor your dealer doesn't want you to see. Unleash the power of natural healing. I'm the Wild Doc. Folks, I just love what I get to do. Speaking truth is so freeing. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It is.
It is.
It is. And there's times, though, one of my patients, this last week, we've been taking care of her. She's off all medications, digestive issues improved. I think her blood pressure's improved. I mean, she's just great, and she just loves hearing truth. And she told me I had righteous anger one time, and she always comes in and tells me what the Lord's been speaking to her about. And
well, you know, the truth will set you free.
Exactly. Knowledge is power only when you use it.
That's right.
So she came in and she's like, you know, she was praying, she was talking to the Lord, and she said a word from the Lord. She said, Dale, you're like Noah. You've built an ark of information, an ark within your office, and you're out there, you look like she literally was like, I know the people out there, you look like a fool. That people are laughing at you. But you're asking people to come into the ark, to come into safety. You wish to protect them.
Yeah.
And sadly, one of these days, and it's coming, we have a burning fire. Obamacare is costing, I mean, people can afford a year of care in my office from the chiropractic realm for less than what 1 month's Obamacare premium will cost you. Obamacare premiums in Tennessee. Tennessee is one of the worst states being hit. Going to go up by around 70%, folks. Get ready. Either get healthy, get off your drugs. You don't need insurance any longer then. Or you get the insurance that's catastrophic insurance. Insurances that cost you little money, protect you for the, God forbid, huge injury or something like that. But if you want a health care provider that gets you off of medications, that's what I tell you. I'm the doctor your dealer doesn't want you to see. Because my entire goal is to get people well, healthy, identify the causes of conditions. As we identify the causes, remove those causes, remove the stress on the body, remove the nutritional deficiencies, remove the toxins, do what we need to get you healthy. And by that process, you don't need no more drugs, folks. You don't need them. You can throw them, not in the trash, because I don't want them in the landfill, and then they go through the water system, and then they leach out into the water table and all that. So you put them in plastic bags and
dispose of it properly.
Squirrel. Anyways.
Oh, right there. Oh, look.
All right. So I wanted to talk about so I want to go through some evidence information. You know, one of the cool things that I've taken patients through testing series with heart rate variability and do pre and post adjustment. I had a patient with significant elevated sympathetic tone, and within the research documents they actually show with breast cancer that sympathetic tone can be the determining factor in whether breast cancer goes from a primary site, meaning one tumor in the breast tissue, and then goes to metastatic, meaning the deadly type of cancer. So a high sympathetic tone means a high stress response within the body, and high stress lowers your ability. It's like carrying around a heavy rucksack or heavy pack, heavy weight, burden on your shoulders. That's a heavy amount of stress. If you've already got that, you're stuck with that burden on your shoulders. You can't take much more. So if you can't take much more, then other disease processes are able to overwhelm you, overtake you, and you lose your health, you lose your life. So by testing, they've actually determined, again, one of the studies said staging of cancer may not be as important as heart rate variability, sympathetic nervous system modulation of tumor growth. If you have an active vagus nerve, which carries parasympathetic supply, which is the calm down, heal, recover nervous system component, basically, to simplify it, not exact. But cancer stage may no longer be important because staging doesn't really matter if you're in stage 1 at that moment in time. Today you're in stage 1 by all medical tests. They still are not evaluating how well your body is fighting off the spread of the cancer. So if you have a high sympathetic tone due to heart rate variability, we can test for that, and that's what I do in my clinic. We can test for those things, and if we find that, you have a high likelihood of it coming back or going metastatic because you're already under so much stress. That cancer it's like fertile ground. Your body is an available environment for cancer growth. So recent studies have shown that vagal nerve activity independently predicts prognosis of cancer. So the likelihood of you surviving cancer independently can be assessed and evaluated by vagal nerve activity, vagus nerve. When vagal nerve activity is high, meaning parasympathetic nervous system is high, cancer stage no longer predicts tumor burden. Woo! That is powerful right there. It is. But some clinics are using this for certain things like sepsis and bacterial infections, those types of things. It's just too cheap and inexpensive to do.
Too easy.
I mean, I can have people put their fingers on two little not electrocute them, but I don't know, metal pieces on a plate. They make the scientific stuff. So anyways, they put their fingers on there, it checks the heart rate in between each beat. There should be variable speeds, variable amount of time in between each beat, and by that, it's adaptation measurements. How well can your body adapt? If you can adapt, you survive. If you can't adapt, you don't survive. It's simple as that. So what does a chiropractic adjustment do? It increases adaptability. It increases heart rate variability so that it lowers stress response, increases parasympathetic. We can use, in my clinic, this is a specialty that I go into how can I harness the nervous system to assist in a person's ability to heal. I don't treat any medical disease diagnosis, anything. I don't treat anything, okay, except for subluxation, that's misalignment to your spine interfering with the nervous system. I treat those. Yes, by insurance purposes, I treat back pain, neck pain, I treat auto accidents, and that's what's sad is I see so many people coming into my clinic after 2 to 5 years after an auto injury, and suddenly they've just been hit by a ton of bricks. Their body's under stress. They've got 5 medications. There's sinus issues. They got fibromyalgia. They got all these problems. It's all from this car accident that happened several years ago, who their doctor gave them, their dealer gave them a muscle relaxer and pain meds. Didn't fix anything. They didn't. It's like you break an arm. If you break an arm, folks, get it reset before it heals. Yeah. Don't allow a car accident to impact and damage your spine, and then you don't get your spine in the proper alignment, resetting those bones in alignment so as it heals in the proper alignment, proper movement and motion, so that you don't end up with arthritic changes and stress on your nervous system and problems down the road. So that's what we do in the clinic anyways. So if you want to call the clinic, 931-591-2010, 591-2010, and that's a 931-591-2010. You can always email me, drdalebrown@gmail.com. All right? So estimated cancer's prognosis by determining his tumor stage needs also to incorporate vagal nerve activity. So if you want the best whole look at where you are in your future prognosis of cancer, because our hospitals and medical physicians aren't currently doing this and it's not covered by insurances, those types of things, we can do that testing in my office, folks. And again, I'm not saying that I'm testing for cancer. I'm just saying, listen, let's do an evaluation that's proven by the research to give you an estimation of how well your body's functioning and healing. And by that, we can know we need to change things. We need to improve. We need to remove stressors from your life. You know, in that patient I was talking about a minute ago, one adjustment, bam, his sympathetic tone dropped.
Really?
It flip-flopped from sympathetic to parasympathetic. One adjustment. And that was one, no more abdominal pain. Okay, sympathetic nervous system, and again, pain like that. See, that's the thing is for months and months, they couldn't figure out what was wrong. Abdominal pain. And I hear this from so many people. Doctors can't figure out why I have pain. Can't figure out why I have pain. And then a year later, now they're diagnosed with cancer.
Well, let me give you this. We'll try this. And
they're warning. The body warns you something is wrong. Look how to restore function and healing. Yeah. And the best place, like Hippocrates said, the father of modern medicine. We haven't reached the modern age yet, folks, because still the doctors that people are seeing are still using drugs. And never did Hippocrates said, you're going to get a pill, potion, or lotion, folks, by the doctor of the future. No, he said the doctor of the future will treat no illness, but will educate the community. Actually, this is Thomas Edison. I apologize. Thomas Edison said, we'll educate the people on the nutrition and maintenance of the human frame. Hippocrates said, look well to the spine for the cause and prevention of all disease. And he also said, let food be thy medicine. And that's what I exactly do in my clinic. So maybe he was talking about me. I don't know. Maybe.
Could have been.
Man, Hippocrates talking about me.
Right. He knew you were coming.
No, I'm just taking his advice and saying, man, that guy was intelligent, so I'm going to do what he does.
That's right.
All right, so here we go. Another study, Neuroimmunology, Journal of Neuroimmunology, all the way back in 1992, said that sympathetic nervous system modulation and control of tumor metastasis, the spread of cancer, and host defense mechanisms. So this is when you have more stress, sympathetic tone high, what happens is that suppresses your host, you're the host. If you host a guest in your home, there's somebody living in your home with you or staying for a little while, okay? If you're a host for cancer, cancer's living within you, okay? So how do we get that host to kick
them out?
That bum out,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Throw them out.
That mooch, gotta get rid of them. They're mooching off you, folks. If you got cancer, it's mooching off you. It's stealing your energy, okay? So let's get the defenses up.
Yeah.
All right, how do we get the defenses up? Well, you got to release the defenses by increasing parasympathetic nervous system, and we can do that by adjustments of the atlas vertebra. The top 3 vertebrae in the spine can really impact, so it'd be the skull, the atlas, C2. That impacts parasympathetic nervous system as well as the sacral plexus. Those are the areas of parasympathetic supply. And then we remove stress on the nerves of your sympathetic system, so they stop aggravating the sympathetic system, driving it high, causing stress. And by doing so, we increase the immune system. And they've shown that in studies that one single adjustment can actually increase the immune system by about 200%. Wow.
That's a big amount.
Every adjustment, therefore, I'm going to start charging $5,000 to $7,000 for an adjustment. Only for cancer patients, though. Why would I do that?
Why?
Because I think it's as valuable as the darn injections that they're using.
Yeah.
The value is there.
Yeah.
The value, actually, it's greater value.
Yeah.
Because there's less side effects and risks.
That's right. That's what I was about to say.
And somebody out there is probably thinking to themselves, what about that model that died, supposedly, of a chiropractic adjustment? Did you hear about that? Maybe I shouldn't even bring it up. Oh, well, I'll bring it up. It's the
Go
truth.
ahead.
Okay, so there was this, I guess, a Playboy model that died of a stroke.
Yeah.
Most patients, see, this is the thing, the media doesn't tell people the truth. It's not like
they don't tell the whole story.
She didn't get adjusted and die on the table.
No.
A week later, she died of a stroke. Hemorrhagic stroke. Those types of strokes are one of the most deadly types of strokes and usually affect a person pretty darn quickly. All right? And don't give aspirin, ibuprofen, or NSAIDs that will thin your blood out to somebody having a stroke. Why? They retracted that, and you don't see those commercials on TV anymore, do you?
No.
Give this if you think somebody's having a stroke. Why? Because the most deadly type of stroke is actually a hemorrhagic stroke where you're bleeding out. So if you thin the blood, you kill them faster. Thank you very much, Bayer aspirin. You killed a bunch of people. Yeah. Anyways.
But did anybody report that?
And no. Anyways, but they didn't report it and be like, oh my gosh, Bayer aspirin's killed thousands of people. About 16,000 people a year die from acetaminophen. That's your Tylenol type of drugs, okay?
Yeah.
And many more die of heart attack and heart problems from naproxen and a bunch of others. And then looking at the opiates. A congressional hearing have found that 440,000 people per year die from medical errors in the hospital. 440,000. The third leading cause of death is medical errors in a hospital. Okay? Congress said several years ago we need to do something about it. Nothing's been done.
They're good at that.
When are things going to get done?
You know, we need to do something about that.
Instead of waiting around on your Congress members, call me, folks. 931-591-2010. I'll help you figure out the research, the evidence, and help you start to use the research that's 20 years past, but never been talked about. Don't wait for your doctor to talk to you about it. Come get your doctor to be Dr. Dale, and I'll help you. I'll look at it with you. And that's the thing, is that it's education, information, and empowerment. Where was I going? What was I talking about? Anthony? John? Get me back on track. Anyways.
I don't know where we were.
Oh, yeah. I was talking about Playboy model.
That's right. Oh, yeah.
Okay, anyways, so a week later, anyways, they theorized that a hard wrenching side to side that's the theory behind it, okay? But she had a major fall, injured herself. That's what drove her to the chiropractor, so maybe it was the injury there.
Yeah.
Also, I'm not saying it wasn't, but one out of how many adjustments? And if you take and give your child an aspirin, that's where I want to go with this. If you give your child an aspirin or Tylenol, especially when they have the flu, the likelihood of them dying is huge. But nobody's reporting. Look at this. This is so upsetting. Toronto area mother launches flu vaccine campaign after toddler's death. October 25th, 2016, CTV News up in Toronto, okay? On Friday morning, back in May, Jill Permalee's 2-year-old son, June, woke up with a low-grade fever at the home in Toronto. The mother gave Jude Tylenol, bringing down the fever. Don't do that! Don't! When are doctors going to tell people the truth? You don't give Tylenol, you don't give fever reducing, because the fever was what God designed the body to produce to help the child fight off the infection. Because of the lies of the medical community and continuing to promote this myth and this theory that a fever is bad is what killed this kid. Tylenol reduces the fever, and what's that do when you reduce the fever? You reduce the strength of the immune system. When you do that, fever does two things. It increases the production of T and B lymphocytes. It increases the production of natural killer cells. Cells will go out. Immune cells, though, will help you fight off an infection and kill the virus, destroy the cells that are infected with the virus. And then it also suppresses the replication of the virus and the replication of bacteria, whatever you're infected with. But guess what? Because of the lies, parents continued to do this. He was acting like himself again. He went out to play. It should say, thus, because of feeling better, but not truly healthier, the virus continued to grow. Later on that evening, took a nap. She went in to wake the boys up. He had a brother. Only one brother woke up. The boy died. She called 911, tried to do CPR. He was pronounced dead. The mother doctors told them wasn't physically acting wrong. It's an unexplained death, according to autopsy. Unexplained death. Because they're unwilling to explain to people the fact that fever-reducing medications are deadly. Then they say they discovered influenza B, the infection in his body, and thus they decided that he died of the flu. So the mom decides to go on a flu promotion campaign, despite Thomas and the boy and the older sisters had all received the flu shot in December.
She was misled.
We want everybody to receive the flu shot because my boy died. Guys, I know I shouldn't. I'm sorry. But how in the world are people so brainwashed?
Because they are. I mean, that's my mom gave me aspirin every time I had a fever. Take 2 aspirin, son.
I've got Denver, Colorado.
I mean, it was just ingrained in their way of life. This is what you do.
I'm preaching and teaching the truth, folks. Share it. Don't just like it. Share the truth because that's the only way we save lives, folks. There's a lot of people who don't like to hear the truth. That's okay. But never, ever, ever cower in fear. When people start to ridicule you, be like Noah. Be like Noah, speak the truth, continue building that ark of truth to protect people, to save them. I mean, I just think this boy, and the research that I went through, I've had nurses from Denver, Colorado, contact me, call my office, ask for, they want all the documentation and research that I had on one of my shows, because what they want to do is they're standing up, they don't want to wear the masks.
Yeah.
Even though if I had to say it, that is actually theoretically a better way to protect their people, but they don't want to because they're not taking the flu vaccine. And again, the flu vaccine increases colonization of strep and pneumonia, for which those 2 bacterial infections are the most likely cause of death in hospital settings.
And you put it right in your body.
And it's just like, these nurses, by refusing the flu shot, this is a group of nurses, folks. Wake up. If a group of nurses are willing to say, I don't want the flu vaccine because there is no proof, but they don't have the time to look at research, so they're contacting me, and I got to give it to them so that they can. I have
not had a flu shot in 3 years.
For their right not to be injected. And that's what's sad. Is there's several nurses that have died following the injection of the flu vaccine.
And I haven't had the flu.
John, you listen to me well, and I love it.
No flu.
Okay.
No flu shot, no flu.
I told you I was going to talk about reishi mushroom. I wanted to talk about 2 things. I want to talk about reishi mushroom. Reishi mushroom is really cool stuff. So the wilderness remedy for this week, I'll talk a little bit. I got 5 minutes. I want to try to get it all in. Woo!
Speed read.
All right. So reishi mushroom, what it does, clinical research has actually shown that it boosts your natural killer cells. Natural killer cells are the immune cells that seek out and destroy cancerous cells in your body. Everybody has cancerous cells at some point in time in our life, throughout days, months. We're going to have cells that grow irregular, stop dying like they should. And then what happens is we need this immune cells, natural killer cells, to go in and die. So I take tea with this. It even helps fight off viral infections. Meanwhile, I'll talk about Tamiflu next show. Tamiflu, I'm going to hammer because it's going to lead into something else because we have a Tennessee court. See how this all stuff connects? Everything connects.
Yeah, it's connected dots.
But this stuff is antiviral. Even research against herpes. So if you've been burned, take reishi mushroom. Anyways. Okay. Anyway, so reishi mushroom for cancer purposes actually helps boost the immune system. It triggers cell apoptosis. Apoptosis is cellular programmed death. So it turns that back on. That's one of the problems with cancer cells is they don't die. They're quote-unquote immortal cells. So they don't die. So therefore the mushroom of immortality actually triggers those cells to die. Which doesn't do that to your healthy cells, only the cancer cells.
Only the
beautiful. Wow, amazing. Anyways, going beyond that, it blocks angiogenesis to cancerous tumors. See, tumors can't grow out of control. They only become the size of basically a ballpoint pen, that ball in there, because they need massive amounts of blood supply to be able to grow, metabolize, and replicate very rapidly. So they won't do that unless they grow blood vessels, an excessive amount of blood vessels to them. That's called angiogenesis. So what this reishi mushroom has been proven to do is actually block angiogenesis to cancer tumors, thus starving cancer cells so they can't grow out of control. Another amazing benefit. Beyond that, there is anti-tumor killing effects further than what apoptosis and those other things. And then there's also anti-metastatic, anti-spread abilities in this mushroom. But the FDA won't approve it, so I can't advertise it as it. I'm not selling it as a cancer drug because that would be illegal according to the FDA, even though the research says that they can do that. So, because that's the FDA's job is to make sure that a single isolated molecule that can be patented can make billions and billions of dollars for the drug companies. But I do want to announce that for the purposes of improving your health, if you're watching on Facebook anywhere, I'm selling all the mushroom that I just found for $5,000. Anybody give it? Call in right now if you want all mushrooms and pay me $5,000 for it.
931-645.
But get this. Why in the world would people not question the price of an injectable drug that I can't find research that says it's superior to reishi mushroom?
No.
Or turkey tail. Why do they pay $5,000 to $7,000 for that drug? Because the doctors don't... Go ahead.
Told them so.
Yeah, doctors told them so. And told them there's nothing else. And this is the research.
This is what you got to do.
Right here in front of me, association of ginseng use in survival and quality of life among breast cancer patients. This is the last one. I got to get it in 1 minute. Okay. Association of ginseng use in survival and quality of life among breast cancer patients. Guess who did this study? Vanderbilt University. Vanderbilt University, just down the road from me.
50 miles.
So Vanderbilt University being this research-based college, research-based hospital, I want to hear from one single woman at least that was told by their oncologist at Vanderbilt to take ginseng to improve their quality of life, psychological status, their mindset, and to extend disease-free survival and survival. Massive improvements in survival if you took ginseng. Done by the University of Vanderbilt. I have yet to meet a single person being treated for cancer that was advised by Vanderbilt to take ginseng.
Yeah.
Because, again, the FDA won't allow it.
Nope.
But at least give people this evidence if you did it. Why are we doing research that we do nothing with?
An alternative. A choice.
And then somebody stole my ginseng this weekend. I'm so mad.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I went out, me and Anthony, to check on my ginseng. We were going to harvest
gone?
it. It was gone. Somebody stole it.
Yeah.
Well, all I can say is I hope that it was a cancer patient that stole it. Yeah. They need it, and then I won't be mad. Anyways.
They probably...
All right, we got a bunch to go through. I know I wanted to go through. I'm sorry I wanted to go through the CDC. The CDC is blocking the testimony of the CDC whistleblower in a Tennessee court, folks. Tennessee court. Obstruction of justice is occurring because of our CDC. They love to lie. They love to protect their profits. They believe that the truth is not part of their objectives. Folks, I'm the Wild Doc. If you want a doc that's going to lead you down the path of truth, give me a call. 931-591-2010. Have an amazing weekend.